Oh, I am so glad I decided to go back and rewatch this. When looking back, Red was a film I remembered very fondly. It's got a great cast, the action and comedy aspects are seamlessly blended together, so after accidentally stumbling across it the other week, I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna rewatch and review this as well as its sequel. And that choice to me has certainly been vindicated. This film is a blast, mega fun, and yeah, talk about an all-star lineup. You've got Bruce Willis leading the line, Morgan Freeman, Helen Mirren, Brian Cox, Mary-Louise Parker, Karl Urban, and my favourite of the bunch, none other than John Malkovich. You can't even go wrong with this cast. All of them are excellent here. Red, standing for Retired Extremely Dangerous, pits our resident CIA retiree Frank Moses as he seeks to get his old band of contacts back together to help him against the government whom he formerly worked for. As we saw in the beginning, someone isn't happy. That hit squad, although easily swatted away by Frank, showed us that whoever was after him wasn't messing around. Frank is no stranger to this sort of thing, but as he states, why now? He's retired and out of the loop. He's alone, content, and goes about his life in a methodically organised way. Why would someone want to kill him now that he's out of the game? And that right there is essentially the main drive for Bruce Willis's main character. He soon realised after those people came after him that those closest to him could also be in harm's way. Fortunately for him, and unfortunately for him, that list wasn't very long. But that meant that one of the few joys in his life right now, Sarah, his pension caseworker whom he spoke with on the phone, and who each shared an interest in one another, was also in the target line. His first meeting with her didn't exactly go as planned, let's put it that way, but after just about getting him and her away from the soon-to-be volatile situation, he went in search for backup. Now, I found myself howling on more than a number of occasions, though I must confess, I think most, if not all of them, were because of the clear MVP in the film, John Malkovich. I don't know, he just plays that nutcase, unhinged character incredibly well, and Marvin is a delight throughout once Frank seeks him out. Their rapport is outstanding, and I am oh so glad Marvin was the first man they went to, because the more he's in it, the better the film gets. He's ultra paranoid, wandering over the insane part of the spectrum, but even so, he does justify his means since A, he was right about the helicopter, B, that woman was following them and went out in ultra over-the-top fashion, and C, yeah, everyone was trying to kill him. Funny, that isn't it? Morgan Freeman and Helen Mirren add their names to this large array of talent. Their star power doesn't even really need to be mentioned any further, considering who they are, and Victoria proves to be essential in Frank's plan if they have any chance of getting out of this alive. On first watch, it actually seems as if Freeman's character Joe is killed off pretty quickly. I admit, I actually forgot that he actually wasn't dead until he resurfaced later on down the line. He does die eventually, mind you, as he sacrifices himself so the others can escape, but his sacrifice wasn't going to be in vain. Their efforts would be met with stern resistance. Aside from the CIA and higher-ups pulling the strings, the man aiming the gun and doing the dirty work on the ground was Karl Urban's William Cooper. Now, I am a huge fan of Karl Urban, I'll put that right out there now. Massive respect for the guy, and I was a fan of his before he did Dredd. It's just that that film propelled my admiration for him into the sky. And I found him, the younger, perhaps tougher agent facing off against the elder, more wily experienced Frank, was a match well suited. As Frank said, one day he was where Cooper is now, but Cooper was being used to further cover up the secrets from the men above. Would he stand for it? Was he a bad guy through and through, or was he just misguided by those above him? Thankfully, it was the latter of the two, but it didn't stop us from getting a few square-offs between old and new, which were, in very different forms, highly entertaining. My overall verdict for 2010's Red is an 8 out of 10. I think I had a smile on my face through the whole time watching this film, and isn't that one of the reasons we watch movies anyway? This to me achieved exactly what it set out to do. No, it's not perfect and it has its flaws, but to blend action and comedy together in the way that this film does, it isn't an easy thing to do. The film is hilarious, and as I've stated, John Malkovich had me close to tears through various scenes, and when that's happening, you know you've struck gold, at least for a few moments. Anyhow, John Malkovich aside, the other actors and actresses also play their roles to a peach as well. Willis going through the motions and routine in the morning, waking up at 6 AM on the dot, was amusing to watch. Mary-Louise Parker too seemed happy in her role. Her character, although kidnapped at the start, was happy to get away from that desk job as she was whisked into the world of spy work and espionage. She just had to make sure not to break Frank's heart, otherwise an angry Victoria would have something to say about it. At least she was warned though. Brian Coxon's strong Russian accent adds even more talent to our screens. Ivan was key actually, let's not do him a disservice. He helped Frank even if it meant Frank granting him a favour, but he was there for him and for his former lover Victoria when things started to hit the fan. If anything, the film could have given us a little bit more of Richard Dreyfuss's villain Alexander Dunning, or the bad guy as he likes to be known, since he kinda just shows up at the end to admit he's been the culprit behind everything, only to eat a bullet a few moments later. That area could have certainly been improved upon. Funny, I only realised the other day that this film debuted and came out just after The Expendables did, and considering the calibre of cast here, it's not unfair to say the firepower was massive in each of these blockbuster releases. So to surmise, I think this film is hilarious. I really enjoyed it. I would happily watch it again. And next up, I'm going to rewatch the sequel, which I will admit, I recall absolutely nothing from it. I have no memory except the fact that I have seen it before. So will Red 2 keep the laughs flowing? We shall find out, yes or no, in my next movie review. So, what did you all think of Red? Do you think it was as funny as I think it was? And even if so or not, let me know who was your favourite character. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And I'll see you on the next one.
Grenade! Damn satellites! Poop to that!